What's the scariest part of Minecraft? Some would say that the Nether is the scariest part in Minecraft. Others might argue for cave sounds, or the deep dark and its warden. Or maybe, if you've been playing for a long time, maybe the name Herobrine stirs unpleasant memories. To me, the game isn't particularly scary, at least not so much beyond the first few playthroughs. Once you play the game long enough, you'll learn that cave noises aren't tied to any real danger, it's just a sound file the game randomly plays. And you will learn the optimal strategies for avoiding the warden and what triggers it. And, with strong enough armour, the Nether will become a cakewalk. Herobrine? Well, by now we all know that he's just an urban legend that was spread, perpetuated by trolls. Honestly, modern Minecraft isn't scary anymore. It makes sense. The more you know about something, the less scary it becomes. After all, we fear the unknown, and at this part, every bit and string of code from the game has been carefully examined and unveiled. But despite the well of information we have, to this day, one place in the game manages to scare and frighten me. For some reason, there's something incredibly uncanny about Minecraft's end dimension. This doesn't sound right at first. After all, the end dimension is kind of empty, and if you think about it, it's the safest place in the entire game. The only mobs present are Endermen, who don't attack you unless you provoke them. There's enough food to last an eternity. There's no darkness or mist obscuring your view. There is no fear of the unknown in the end. Once you've seen one island, you've seen them all. It's not like there's a monster hiding underneath the surface. Well, there is one thing lurking below your feet. And if you take one look at the end dimension, you'll see it. The black void that is everywhere. In a game where you can build anything, the void must be its scariest part. It's a great abyss staring back at you. A motionless, immutable nothingness where you cannot build anything. Against lava, you can make potions. Netherite gear will protect you against the monsters, and torches will drive away the darkness. But the void is, sorry for the pun, unavoidable. No matter how well equipped and geared up, once you fall into the void, it is over. Even in creative mode, you cannot survive the abyss. In a sense, the void is the great equalizer of Minecraft, the final barrier. Looking at the void makes you feel insignificant, small. There's a knowledge that nothing you do can or will move the abyss. But even so, an experienced Minecraft player shouldn't be afraid of it. If you know how to hold shift, avoid the edges, or have an elytra, the void shouldn't be much of a threat. So, let's escape the void for a second and return to the main end islands. If you want an elytra, you will most likely need to cross several of these big islands just to find an end city. And, despite my previous statements about the void, there really wasn't much danger for me when I explored them to find my wings. I knew how to hold shift. I had enough food, and I had enough resources to last me a while. I was not afraid at all. In fact, the journey was kind of boring, and exploring the big empty islands made me feel drowsy. When my friend had told me he had found his elytra and immediately left the end because it gave him the chills, I laughed at him. I told him to just hold shift when building bridges. We both have played for a long time, so him being scared of such a trivial journey sounded funny to me. That was until, after an hour of exploring the empty end islands, only occasionally stopping to build bridges, I found a torch in the middle of nowhere. I had placed that torch an hour ago. The end is empty. Incredibly empty. To the point my own torches and bridges were the only marks that could ever be found in the desolate world. And finding my own torch while thinking I was exploring a new island made me realise the weight of the situation. I was completely alone, in an empty world, and I was going in circles. But even so, despite that, I kept going. I kept finding more bridges, more torches, and more signs of life, only left by me. There's no fear of the unknown here. I knew it was ahead. I knew how the game worked and what structures could be found where, but at this point my knowledge was working against me. Because I knew that the unexplored islands would be exactly what I expected them to be. That there was nothing really to look forward to, and nothing I left behind. The road ahead would be exactly the same. It was truly a haunting experience. Feeling like you're not the only person ever, but also the last person ever. The overworld at least made you feel like you had an impact on the world. You make and destroy things. The world moves on its own even when you're not present. The villagers are still around. Sheep and monsters still roam the land. In a weird sense, it feels like if you were to disappear, there would be someone or something to remember you. The end barely notices you are there, and it will scarcely know when you are gone. The end you see right now is the way it will end. A dead world. Maybe it was once the overworld, but now it is empty and will remain empty forever. Endless, alone, and forgotten.